All right, everybody, welcome to the live stream. And today's topic is what is creepy? How can you approach people, especially women, and not creep them out, especially in the post hashtag Me Too uh, feminist era where anything a man does is considered creepy? Any movement towards self-improvement at all, meeting people, can be labeled as creepy. And this really is damaging to men. It's damaging to everybody. It's damaging to all society because we need to attract mates. And what better way to attract mates than by approaching them? I feel like the powers of the world want us all to just meet online and just stay stuck to our computer screens and little cubicles having sex with AI powered robots. Like that's the future they want in virtual reality or something. And they maybe it's like they don't want the population to grow. I don't know, whatever it is, but there's a lot of brainwashing and propaganda out there that's teaching guys that it's wrong or weird or strange to approach women. And I'm going to show you guys, some videos of women describing creepy men, and they're all completely true. What these men are doing is creepy, and I'm going to show you so that you don't be that guy. And then I'm going to give us all a bunch of tactics and techniques and mindsets so that you can meet women without creeping them out and without coming across as creepy. And it's not complicated, it's really not. But this is like the biggest fear that most guys have when it comes to day game, what we call day game, which is just meeting women in the daytime in malls, coffee shops, on the street, at the beach. Um, Guys are worried about being seen as creepy or weird or intrusive. And a lot of this comes down to nice guy mentality. You know, most men are just nice, right? Like most men are friendly, most men are nice guys, and we just want to help each other out. Unfortunately, that niceness, that politeness is not really useful when it comes to meeting women. It's just it's just not helpful. It's not going to help you get the girl. It's not going to help you make more sales being nice like that. So, in order to be effective day gamers, we need to risk being creepy. I had a friend named, hi, Michael, glad to see you here, bro. I had a friend, um, we're just flying through this now. So I had a friend back in the day, and his nickname was 60 Years of Challenge. And he wrote a book, one of the best dating books you could ever have read. And I don't even know how you can find it anymore. But one of the things he wrote, one of his lines was, you have to risk being creepy. And what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that the universe is going to reward you for taking risks. The universe doesn't need another weakling who's totally worried about what everybody thinks about them. But with all the propaganda out there against men who want to take action, it's hard to sort out what is true and what is bullshit. What actually is creepy to women and wrong and could get you in trouble with like the law, and what is socially acceptable and cool. So, on that note, I want to show you guys a video here. Let me just get this set up here.
Can you repeat that again about the universe? That's really good.
Yeah, the universe will reward action takers, right? Like I really believe in the power of manifestation and positive thinking, and that I believe that we live not in like a computer game, but it's sort of like a world where the world is created by your thoughts. And we're all kind of going around, hopping around in dimensions and stuff. And so there's this idea that if you just think positively, the universe will like rearrange itself. But I don't believe that's true. I believe the universe will give you opportunities. And it might even be just be psychological. It's like if you say like I always meet beautiful women, I always get the best opportunities at work with my career. I'm always why am I so amazing, basically? Why do I have all these opportunities? What happens is you'll start to see opportunities. And if you take action towards those opportunities, then the universe is going to reward you with the rewards for taking those actions, right? Like I'm doing this live stream, and I can see myself just getting all you guys to join my $49 a month community where I do 2 of these a week, right? And I do that by giving value and taking action, right? I could go out and make these videos and get labeled a creep on the by internet trolls, which has happened to me before. I've had like people dox me and come after me and say I'm a rape teacher and all this nonsense just because some militant people didn't like what I was doing, which was promoting men to approach women. And in the long run, that only made me stronger. It only made me a little bit more famous, and it only helped more men to see my message. So what is creepy? First, let's watch this video of women. This might bum you guys out a little bit, but it's all for a good cause. I don't want to scare you guys off from approaching, but let's watch.
Please get off me. Stop, please get off me.
What's the word when someone feels when someone feels so
Please.
have done that?
Please, yeah, that's the feeling of you should go away. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. You should go away. Please go away. Please go away. Please.
Oh, you're making me
Please
feel so
go
weird.
back to your friends. Please leave me alone. Please.
My friends are happy about that.
Yeah, and I'm happy by myself. Please leave me alone.
Yeah, see, so this girl's like, please go away, please go away, please stop following me. And a lot of guys might get pissed off when a woman does this, especially at night game, and become more persistent. And no, you got to know, like, this actually does mean, like, fuck off. And when a woman says, no, 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 the best thing for you to do is say, okay, no problem, have a good day. Have a good night. That's it. But you don't need to feel ashamed or guilty because you hit on her and it went wrong. This guy's probably some homeless dude, so these are extreme examples. This one, man follows a woman around and calls her a whore and says she's dressed like a pro.
Please leave me alone.
Stepdad's been raping you since
Leave
you were
me
12 years old?
alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you
Oh
alone.
my God.
So he's
It's too damn
begging.
early.
This is what we're going to cover. This guy's begging.
Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute?
Right, so now that she's rejected him, he's saying, why are you dressed like this? Are you a whore? This is a very common reaction to being rejected by a woman. Men will do this all the time, and this is why you see women acting like bitches. You say, oh, she has resting bitch face and stuff. It's because they have to deal with this kind of shit all the time. Guys with terrible game. That's what it is.
Embarrass you. Now show me the video.
This guy was sneaking pictures
You
of
are
women.
caught.
Look at his hands shaking.
Show me the video.
Like he's probably a nice guy, and he saw some hottie and he's like, I'm gonna sneak a pic of her and go whack off to it later. And he got busted, and right, that is considered creepy. And I'm gonna explain why it's creepy other than the obvious.
There is a video
Show me
here.
the video, sir.
There's nothing there. I took a picture.
Keep going. I want to
One
see all of
way.
it. I know you got more than that. I watched you follow her.
Yeah. So let's go to the next one.
And
This is
he
classic.
was going the opposite way of me. Now as you can see, he's behind me. And the reason being is because he waited, stopped in the middle of the trail just to get behind me. And now I know what you're thinking. Why are you suspecting that he's following you? Well, let me tell you. I was just walking like this, and I look up and he's in front of me, and he just keeps doing a peek like this behind him over and over again. And yes, I went a different way on the trail just to get.
So this guy, she's jogging, and this guy follows her all around, and now he's walking back and forth.
Looking at me. Stop looking at me. Behind the car.
So this is the reason this is creepy. It's not that the guy exists that's creepy. It's that he's probably wants to meet her, but he's got so much fear, so much approach anxiety. And this is why I always tell guys, do not stare. You go. As soon as if you see that girl and you think she's hot, it's so much less creepy to just go introduce yourself. Just go and introduce yourself. Yeah,
I get him.
it's being recorded. Sorry, Mike. I'm going to be posting it in the paid community. That's because it was going to be a Q&A, and I turned it into a presentation instead. So it's actually a subject rather than just question and answer. But at the end, I can turn the recording off if you want to ask questions.
Turn it back around. He's walking this way now.
He's still
I can't
following
even
her, right?
finish
So
my run.
following girls
I only ran like a mile and a half. I wanted to
can
do
be
3.
creepy. This is really common. So this guy's following her around in a store. Day gamers do this all the time. I wish I could get rid of this. Where is he? There he is. So he keeps hovering around her and hovering around her, and he won't talk to her. So therefore it becomes creepy. So yeah, I know I said it wasn't going to be recorded, but then I thought, well, I want to make a subject out of this. I want to do something that's worth helping a lot of people. So what was creepy about that? It was creepy for all these reasons I'm about to show you as soon as I close this window and go back to my thing. So what is creepy? This guy is creepy. Who knows who that is? Let me know in the chat or the voice message. Who is that guy?
Man, I know of him. I know the story. I just don't know his name.
That is Julian. Oh, I forgot his name too. This guy shot up a school, right? He went on a killing spree, and then he made a manifesto, and he said the reason I killed all these women, he specifically targeted a bunch of women, was because they wouldn't sleep with them. He's like, you can't see value. You don't know like a high value guy, and you won't sleep with me. Therefore, I'm going to kill you all. So that's creepy. And the thing is like all these creepy guys, most of them don't have murderous intent to begin with. Most of them just want to meet a girl, and they end up in this place, which I think is because this could all be solved if these guys had some game, if they knew how to approach women, right? So creepy, from a woman's point of view, is creepy as being sneaky, in the shadows, stealthy. A lot of guys, they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be heard. They want to come in like Batman and get the girl. And this is the wrong way to go about meeting women. You want to be open. When you see the girl, you don't hover around her in the store for half an hour or try to take pictures of her. She's hot. You go up to her and you say, go direct or indirect, but you can say, hey, I just saw you here. I had to meet you. I saw you jogging in the park. I just had to come say hi because you're so cute. And there's ways that I'm going to go over that you can convey yourself in a non-creepy way so you don't weird her out. But sneaking around, being stealthy, yeah, that's creepy. It's being ashamed of your desires. A lot of men have like sexual shame, strong feeling that like what they're doing is wrong, like approaching women is wrong, it's weird, it's creepy. No, it's okay to have sexual desires for somebody. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but hiding it in a weird way is what makes it creepy. On the other hand, being overtly sexual, like like rubbing your cock on a girl on the dance floor and be like, hey, baby, do you like it? Like that's overtly sexual to someone who hasn't given you consent. That's going to come off as creepy. There's a way you can be overtly sexual and not be creepy. Think of a guy like Russell Brand, who really owns his sexuality if you watch Russell Brand videos. He's super sexual, but in like a playful way and in a consensual way where he sometimes not so much if you watch some of his videos, but the women like it because he's skillful. Creepy is begging, please, just stop. Just talk to me. What? That's creepy. It's just like if you get into a relationship with a girl or you're trying to get into a relationship with a girl and say she's not texting you back really quickly and you start sending her a whole bunch of text messages. I'm sorry that I texted you that before. Actually, I want to talk to you again. This becomes creepy really fast because it's begging, right? Creepy is not saying hello, just staring at women and because you have approach anxiety. That's why I teach guys how to approach women, how to reduce their approach anxiety. I have a lot of webinars in the classroom about approach anxiety and even more in the paid group, lots of stuff on meditation, how to approach women, how to be present, right? Creepy is dishonest. It's just you pretending like you're looking for the soap or looking for makeup when really you're only in that store to meet the girl, but you're too scared to do it. So that's creepy because women are like, what do you want? Why are you following me? That's why as soon as she notices you looking, you have to go. Otherwise, you're creepy, right? Guys get it all wrong. They think approaching her is creepy. It's not approaching her that's creepy, right? And then it's approaching with some skill. When you're new at it, you might be nervous and you can come across as weird. Creepy is a villainous intent. So that's like when you don't see a woman as a human being, and actually guys have this problem in that they have too much niceness. It's the opposite of a villainous intent. But they're like, "Oh, I don't want to interrupt her. I don't want to bother her. I don't want to interrupt her day. She's on the phone." That's almost too nice, and that's actually more creepy because you're not being authentic, you know? So creepy is like, I hate women. I want to like, get that bitch's number, and then I'm gonna like I'm gonna sleep with her and not call her back, or I'm gonna cut her up into little pieces. Whatever weird shit that's going on in an angry man's head. This is what women are worried about in their psychology. That's why they love these horror movies uh, about slashers and villains and stuff like that. Creepy is a villainous intent. There's something subconscious that women are looking for, and if you don't do any of these behaviors I'm showing you, you're not going to trigger those subconscious fears. Creepy is premeditation. So in day game approaches, I tell guys, don't say, "Hey, I just saw you over there and I had to meet you," because that's saying you planned to approach her, which is always weird. The first thing women do is go, "Where? Where did you see me? How long have you been following me for?" Like that guy following her for a kilometer, while she jogged through the park, trying to probably work up the nerve to go talk to her or rape her. Who knows, right? But it's premeditating. It means you planned it and before you executed it. So when I teach guys how to approach women, it almost always seems completely in the now, in the moment, spontaneous. That's romantic, right? Spontaneous is like you're on the Titanic and the girl's on the Titanic, if you've seen the Titanic, and you just happen to bump into each other and magic happens. Or, he sees her and in the moment he has to meet her right now. Boom, and he goes over and starts talking to her. Creepy is bad body language. It's like hunched over, eyes darting around, like a villain. Your hands in your pocket. That's why I tell guys to stand up straight. Take your hands out of your pocket. Hold eye contact. Creepy is entitlement without work ethic. So like Elliot Rogers, that's that fucker's name. Elliot Rogers was so entitled and he figured women should just know how amazing he was and they should want to sleep with him. And a lot of guys have this now, especially these black pillar guys who are like, women should approach me. Or there's this idea that if you look at women and smile at them and if you get your facial symmetry right, the women are going to approach you. That can happen, but it's generally not in the laws of nature. Women just don't approach men. It's not the way of the world. It's not the way of the universe, is it? So creepy is taking without consent. Obviously, sexual assault, rape. If you watch some of these videos of white women in India where all the men surround the girls and then like touch their tits with their elbows and stuff like that, this is all like non-consensual stuff. That's creepy. It's fucking creepy. You can, if you get good with game, you can literally go up to girls in the bar and like motorboat them and they love it. All you have to do is have the right body language, the right energy, and women will gladly let you play with their bodies in a totally consensual way really fast. Creepy is like when you're like, I'm doing this trying to be subtle to get a cop a feel or something. So guys with game, we don't do that. We don't. Women will give us their bodies willingly. Creepy is a negative mindset or emotional state, like Elliot Rogers. It's a dark, brooding cynicism. It's like this idea that you're out there to trick girls into sleeping with you with mind tricks and stuff like that. That's creepy. And creepy is low self-esteem, vengeance, entitlement, sloth, snide, cynicism, anger, basically the whole red pill movement, which is like hypergamy. Women only sleep with the high value men and tall guys, and you have to have money. Like all this negative shit is creepy as hell. It's very, very creepy. That's all considered low vibration. Low vibration is just a metaphor. Like a high vibration would be like, you're awesome, you're enlightened, you're fun. Low vibration is like cynical, manipulative, bad, right? And all that is creepy. So if we look at all this, don't be that guy. And you might even catch yourself being that guy at times. It's okay. You catch yourself and you change it. You stop me. Well, no, that's creepy. The biggest thing you can do is don't follow a girl around the mall for half an hour, building up the courage to talk to her. It's better to go in and have a panic attack while you're talking to her. Be nervous. You don't know what to say. You're stuttering. You're worried what people think. That's less creepy than just following her around and staring at her, which is what most guys do. And I teach a lot of ways to do this in my courses in the classroom in school. If you go to my school group in the classrooms, or you sign up to my email list, or you watch my YouTube channels. So if you're like, how do I do that? We can answer that in the Q&A. Strategies. So look, here's Batman and Superman. Batman is a hero, right? But a lot of guys, they want to be Batman. They want to swoop in from the shadows, get the girl. Nobody sees him. Nobody knows because he thinks he's creepy. Batman's got low self-esteem. Let's be real. He hides his face, and he pretends to be like powerful, but he's a dude with serious daddy issues, man. He's kind of fucked up. He can't even maintain a relationship. Superman's got a girlfriend. Superman doesn't hide his face. Superman is like, look at the body language difference. Batman's all hunched over and hiding. And I love Batman, but Superman, chest out, arms out. Here I am. I'm fucking Superman. I just wanted to come meet you. You want to be Superman, not Batman. Okay? Everybody knows Superman. Like, I take guys to the bar and they hide, clutch a drink to their chest, and they look for that one girl who's isolated, and then they want to go in like Batman and say something. It never works. What I do when I used to teach night game is I take guys and I put them on the highest point in the bar. Usually it's one of the big speakers. And I get them to stand on there and just do this, like put your hands in the air and clap it like you just don't care. Make lots of noise, hoot and holler, and get everyone to look at them. And I would cover them in glow sticks. I'll go to the dollar store and buy like $20 worth of glow sticks. So their whole arms were glowing, their necks were glowing, glowing hats, everything glowing. And people would make fun of them. Like, the guys would come in and be like, hey, can I have one of your glow sticks? And the girls would come over and be like, give me a glow stick. And I wanted the men to get so much attention, to have so much pressure on them, to be Superman, where everyone can see you and everyone knows you. And this is going to get you the girls. Don't think guilty thoughts. Like, okay, even if you're a thief, you don't walk into the store and look for the security guard, because you're already putting off a guilty vibration. So a lot of guys, when they go to approach the women, they're already feeling like they're doing something wrong, or they might be creepy. They're like, is this creepy? Those thoughts will transfer to her psychically. She's going to think whatever you think and feel whatever you feel. Therefore, it's so imperative that you clear your mind of any thoughts. You don't think, you just do. You're just not in the now. You're like a Buddha. You're just Zen. And that takes years of practice, but that's what works. Like me teaching you guys right now, I'm in the nimbus. I'm in my zone. I'm not like, do they like it? What if they think I don't know what I'm talking about? Like, as soon as those thoughts come, I'm like, fuck off. They don't help me teach you guys. So when you're approaching the girl, it's got to be that way. You clear your mind, clear your thoughts. Go direct until you're comfortable stating your desire. So you're following that girl around, you don't know what to say, and she catches you, and you see her starting to get weirded out. That's when you go in and say, oh, and don't apologize or say, excuse me, I know this is weird. That shit's dumb. That's the dumbest game advice ever. You say, I just noticed how attractive you are. Wow. And if you're nervous, you say, you actually make me nervous. And that doesn't happen very often. And I'll even take her hand and put it on my chest. Feel my heart. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, wow. You did that to me, so I had to talk to you. I actually, when I get nervous looking at women, I'll say to them, I don't usually get nervous, but I had to approach you. Hey, what's up, Michael?
Yeah, so when you say go direct until you're comfortable stating your desire, I thought you meant indirect, because isn't direct is when you're stating your desire, or what am I missing?
Oh, yeah. What I meant is, like, if you're not stating your desire, it just means you're following her and you're in your head, you want to approach her, but you're not sure how. You can just, and say maybe she notices you and she starts to get a little bit creeped out. Because that'll happen sometimes, is the girl will see you hovering around her while you're talking yourself into talking to her, and you're like, what do I say? That's the best time for you just to say, oh, I just thought you were attractive, and that's why I'm hovering around you. I was working up the courage to talk to you, actually.
So
Like, then you have nothing to hide.
you don't believe in going indirect at all, like just stating, what, like if you're at a store talking about whatever or getting her opinion?
Absolutely, I do. Yeah. I don't know if you're in my school group, but I have an entire course called Easy Openers. It's free.
Mhm.
And it's a whole webinar like this that I did on how to create indirect openers based on situations with examples and and everything. But going indirect is a skill that most guys struggle with, because it takes a lot of creativity, and there's a proper way to do it and an improper way to do it, which I teach in that class. So yeah, indirect is great. Do you usually go indirect?
Yeah, I like indirect.
Nice. What's your technique?
Not really a technique. I just look at the situation and whatever comes to mind, you know. I just
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah, there's a way to do it so that you're what I call you're giving value rather than taking value. Like some guy might go up and say, "Hey, how are you? How are you?" And like this is asking her to think, which I don't like doing. Or say she's looking at soap. Very common for to go into like Lush or some soap store. When I would teach guys pick up in malls, they go into Lush and they'd be like, "Oh, so this soap, do you like this smell?" And she would smell it and go like, "Yeah." And then he would go, "Oh, it's from Thailand. Is Thailand the best place to get soap?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, actually, Thailand has good soap. So does Peru." And, and then like 5 minutes later, he's still talking about soap.
Right.
And so this isn't seductive. It's not fun. It's not emotional. It's not teaching her. So in the course, I have a conversation course, which is free, called Conversation Genius, which teaches you how to go from the opener to actually flirting. And then the openers, I teach how to give creative openers. So they're insightful, they're witty, they're cold reads, they're telling stories, shit like that. But in the beginning, a lot of guys, they don't know how to transition even. So I tell them to just go direct. If they don't know how to create an indirect opener, even if they do, if they can't go direct, it's going to make learning this stuff so much harder. Every client I have on a boot camp, the first thing I do is I tell them, we're going to go direct with some girls. "Hi, I just saw you. I thought you were cute. I had to meet you. I'm Michael." Because if you can't do that, you're in big trouble. It's going to take a long time to get results if you can't even do that.
I've heard some people say though that before you do that, that you have to kind of like say what you said. I know this is awkward. Well, not awkward, but or just kind of preface why you're saying that for social
I've been
reasons.
teaching day game for 14 years. I've never said that once. I think it's retarded.
Yeah, I
Because
think it sounds
if
that
you
way.
look at sales and a guy came in to look at your sports car that you're selling, would you be like, "Look, I know it's not good on gas, and actually it's not even a cool model these days,
Right.
but it's not really comfortable, but you could take a seat if you want. There's also a chance you might crash it." No, like why would you put those thoughts in someone's head? Like, "Oh, I know this is expensive."
Exactly.
Excuse me. No, like she's not thinking it's weird. Why would you put that thought in her head? Like, say you're an overweight guy. I had you're overweight, and you flirt with a girl, you wouldn't say like, "I know I'm kind of overweight." She would be like, "Oh, I thought this guy was confident. Now he just told me he's insecure."
Right. Yeah, you have to assume the sale. Good point.
The guys who teach that are wrong.
Yep.
That's what's going on. Okay, so employ open and inviting. Oh, here's someone, Melvin. So you want to employ open and inviting body language, like not Batman, right? Not this guy, more like Superman. You go direct until you're comfortable stating your desire, because a lot of guys will never go direct and they'll like have a crush on a girl at some cafe or at work or at school, and they'll talk to her and talk to her for days, weeks, months, years, and just never tell her, "Hey, I think you're hot." And they become creepy, like, "Oh, there's that fucking creepy guy who's always hanging around me. I think he has a crush on me, but there's something wrong with him." Right? So that's creepy. So be totally cool with rejection. Like that other guy in the video, she's like, "Get away from me." This happens a lot if you do a lot of pickup in bars and clubs, is you'll go up like, "Hey, I'm Tony," and they're like, "Fuck off." Like the hand in the face. Like, "Ew, get away from me." Like that used to happen, and a lot of guys will get angry and become vengeful and spiteful and, "Oh, like what, you don't like black guys, or whatever." They'll find something. "Oh, you need a taller guy, huh? You're a slut." And they'll every guy's done it at some point in his life. I'm not proud of it. I've said stuff like that too, but then you learn like that's really creepy. What you do is when she rejects you, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," or, "I'm too busy, please go away." You just say, "Hey, no problem. I totally understand. Like, have a nice day," right? If she says go away. If she says I have a boyfriend, I don't usually run away. I say, "Oh, how's it working out for you?" Okay, stay away from negative news. Like, oh, there's so many guys that are obsessed with politics. Like, oh, how long have you been hearing the stock market's about to crash? You better buy all the gold you can. Like, since I was 12 years old. Has it happened? Sure. Like, has World War III happened yet? Have the globalists invaded? Whatever your thing is politically, stay away from it. It's just, if you're trying to get good with girls, that shit's just toxic. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't help. Yeah, you have a question, Michael?
Yeah, on that thing about rejection, what do you do sometimes, like if you're in a bar and you're talking to someone and you first say something and that they don't say anything, and then you say it again very loud so you know she heard, but she still didn't say anything, which is a rejection. Do you just kind of say, okay, whatever? I
I
mean,
usually don't let them ignore me. Um, I would rather her tell me to fuck off than ignore me. But sometimes it's just you can't get her attention, but I'll move in front of her. I'm not in her space, but I just get louder and louder and I get more happy and more smiling. And I'm just like, until the point where I'm like, oh, until she finally acknowledges me.
gotcha.
Because a lot of guys, they just give up too easy. And you can take someone who's a grumpy frumpy and make them laugh if you have the right energy, right? Like there's so many things you can do to get a girl's attention. Like you could even go around like doing the chicken dance, no, 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 until she starts laughing.
Mhm.
Um, but what the wrong thing to do is to be like, well, fuck you then, right? That's all I'm saying. There's always a way to get her attention. Love people. Like, it's so hard to deal with rejection and also like just the fear of approaching people and stuff like that. So I'd say love women. That I originally wrote like love women. Don't be a negative Nancy because that's creepy. All that stuff. Like if you watch like Fresh and Fit podcast, for example, and they're just like slut shaming women, like it doesn't help anybody. It's not going to change society. It's not going to help you get laid. And so it's better to like watch spiritual stuff, in my opinion. At least then when you're hitting on girls, you're like doing it with some kind of new age hippie vibe rather than some political bullshit in your head. Be present in the now. So, like The Power of Now, amazing book. If you're a Buddhist, they teach some amazing methods for getting in the present moment. Yoga, anything to clear your mind of negativity so that when you see the girl, you just go and you're there in front of her. Because what's creepy is when you're thinking of 19 ways to seduce her as you talk to her, trying to find an angle. And sometimes you have to have a plan and you have to try out material, but you want to become skillful to a point where you're unconsciously competent so that you're so masterful you don't have to think about what to do. And sometimes to get to that point requires creeping some girls out. Just there's no way around it. Sometimes they get weirded out by what you're saying or what you're doing, and that's okay, but you eventually will become very present to the present moment. And there's a lot of books and courses on how to become more like that. Be honest and transparent if you're nervous. I already said this in the beginning, but if you're having a lot of nerves while you talk to the women, you can just tell them you're nervous. It might not get the girl sitting on your lap, but at least then you're not hiding stuff. Because I used to have panic attacks. I used to get so nervous talking to women. Even if I was just introduced at work to a pretty girl, my heart would start pounding. I would start sweating, and I couldn't talk, and I would stutter. And man, it was just humiliating. And now, on the rare occasion that a woman makes me nervous, I just say, women don't usually make me nervous, but there's something about you that's got my heart rate going. Wow, you did that. And then I turn it from like something I'm hiding, which is creepy, to like an advantage. It's endearing. Oh wow, you're making me so nervous. Feel. Apologize if you weird her out. So like don't go in saying, excuse me, I know this is weird. But if you see her giving the fight or flight look, like then you step back and you say, like, first off, it's not your fault. It's not your problem if she feels weird. If you're calm and cool, because sometimes women get nervous when you're talking to them and they get weirded out just because they're not used to guys approaching them. It's not your problem, but you can say like, oh, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to, you look a little nervous. I didn't mean to weird you out. That's it. I just wanted to meet you. That's all. Like that's it. And you don't even need to say that a lot of the times. If she looks like she's nervous, often if you're just calm and cool, she will also become calm and cool. Because I found over the years, I used to think I was creeping her out, but actually she was attracted to me and she didn't know what to say. Like, wow, this guy's so confident. Even though I shit in my pants, she didn't know. She just thought I had big cojones and here I was, and now she was nervous. that can happen too, because fear is also an aphrodisiac for women. Sometimes the fear mechanism is attached directly to their pussies. That's a funny phenomenon, but she can get really nervous and at the same time super aroused. That's why they love those slasher flicks. Yeah, Justin, you have a question?
Just basically something to add, like to what you just said. Like I've had before where I've done an approach and I've startled a woman. Like not even like, oh, I got in front of them or whatever like that. Like I've had approaches where a girl is sitting on a bench and I'm kind of approaching and I say, "Hey," and she jumps and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you right there, but I had to come meet you real quick. You look cute."
Yeah. Yeah, like yeah, so if she jumps up and you startle her, um, that's okay. Then you can acknowledge the situation for sure. But going in and being like, "Oh, I know this is weird," you're already setting her like on edge. Why? What's weird? Right? But if she like jumps up
Right.
startled and you say, I usually just laugh and I go, "Oh, I didn't mean to startle you." Exactly. Because
Yeah.
it's present. It's in the present moment and it shows social intelligence. Um, so yeah, you don't need to, there's nothing wrong with that at all. So what's an anti-creep mindset? Look at this guy. You know what's funny about this picture? This is an AI generated picture. Look at how real it looks. Isn't that crazy? But this guy, you could put him in different clothes. You could have him hunched over, and he would look super creepy and scary. He'd look like some kind of Mexican cartel gang rapist. But what is it that makes him not creepy? It's that big smile. So many guys, they're so nervous when they approach, they forget to smile. Like, look at me right now. I'm just like, wah. And guys, try this with me right now. I know your cameras are off. I just want you to put your hands up above your head for a second and just smile. Give me one of these. Woo! Yeah. If you can, if you're not sitting in a cafe, even then, just putting your hands above your head. I'll get guys when they come on boot camps and they're all like terrified, right? What's Sony going to make us do? And I just get them to put their hands and hold them over their head for a while and start clapping and making noise, and they start smiling. Every one of them will start smiling, and that's the energy you want when you approach the women. So many guys are like, hi, I just wanted to meet you," and they don't stick. "Sorry, I have a boyfriend." It's creepy. You want to have like a fun energy, like, "Wow, I had to meet you." Enthusiasm, energy. This is in sales. The salesmen who get the best sales are the ones that are like, "Oh wow, I'm so excited to finally get to talk to you about this. Just gonna take 5 minutes of your time, and it's gonna be so great, you know." And you're like, "Okay, I'll listen," right? It's this energy. Yeah, Justin?
Yeah, sorry, I keep having stuff to add, but I remember my first boot camp, I was doing exactly what you were saying. I wasn't like smiling or whatever.
Yeah.
And the coach the coach told me, he's like, "Yeah, you're not smiling. You got to start smiling." And once I just added a smile to my interactions, sets just seemed to hook a lot more than that. So something just as small as that could make a world of difference.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? They've done studies with Tinder, and the men that don't smile get rated as more attractive. But when it comes to approaching women and in bars, they've done like video footage where women analyze videos, and the men who are smiling were more attractive in movement. Like, isn't that funny? So in online
Yeah.
dating, you want to look stoic and tough, but when you're actually doing game, you want to be smiling and happy more often. Like, you don't have to. You can be stoic and like a total bad boy like biker, and a woman could still get turned on by you. But when you're cold approaching, smiling shows that you're like not a threat, right? It shows that you're friendly, and it definitely helps. It definitely helps get rid of that creepy factor, because there's creepy ways to smile too, though. Like if you watch this movie called oh, it's about this clown, and I can't remember the name of the movie, but this clown's like, hey, and he's got a really weird smile. Yeah, Michael?
Hey, so I know, so you want to smile when you approach, but if you're at the bar, you don't want to be smiling all the time, right? Or what is your thought
No,
about
like I
just,
said, you don't have to do it all the time, but you want to flash it once in a while to show that you're not a threat. Like you can be,
Okay.
you can look alpha and not smile. Like I get a lot of clients from Europe, like some Eastern European clients, and like I literally have to pin their face up because in their culture, smiling is sort of a weakness. But even with the women don't smile either. And when you're flirting with them, sometimes it's so hard to read them. And I've had to teach the Russian and Ukrainian women's I've dated to smile because I don't know what they're thinking. They're like,
Mhm.
and they can't, right? And dating coaches for women will teach the European women to smile when they talk to us. Because imagine going on a date with a girl and she doesn't smile once the whole date. You're gonna be like, this chick sucks. What is it? I don't know why I don't like her. It's the
Mhm.
same thing.
Yeah, and it's like too, like like what you said, you don't want to be smiling all the time. Like at the initial interaction, like when you first go up to her, like that's a good time to smile.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know what you are. Like, are you a threat? What are you doing? Why are
Yeah.
you talking to her?
Right.
And if you smile, it shows, oh, this is a cool, confident guy that's coming up and approaching me right now.
Mhm.
Exactamundo. So this mindset's important. Approaching a girl is totally normal and admirable. A lot of guys have this in their head that there's something wrong with it, but you got to really know it's admirable, especially if you're in a community like this one where you're going to get applause and clout. You approached women, you that's hard. That takes a lot of courage. And a lot of people in society will judge you positively, not negatively, if they see you approaching at the bar, at the beach. I can't tell you the amount of times I've approached a woman or had my student approach a woman. People were watching, and after they came over and said, "That was awesome, man. I saw that you went and talked to that woman. I wish I could do that. Like, how did you do that?" So it's admirable, it's cool, it's not illegal, it's not immoral. There's nothing illegal about approaching women. As long as you're not doing all this weird stuff, thinking these weird ways that is begging, or like just even thinking those thoughts is creepy. You want to think like this: the anti-creep mindset. If you have trouble staying positive, do the 30-day positivity challenge. I posted it in the community, in the school group. It's simple. You're not allowed to let a negative thought exist in your mind for longer than it takes to acknowledge it. So when you're like, fuck this, anything like, and you go, oh shit, and you stop it. Whenever you're cynical, like, oh, my Bitcoin stock's crashing, I have all the worst, and you stop it, oh shit. Because it doesn't help. The only time cynicism might help you is if you're preparing for something, like you're a prepper, you're getting ready for something. But even then, focusing on it too long, it's just bad. So 30 days. And if you find yourself all day tripping out on negative thoughts, like, oh, she's probably gonna think I'm weird, you start from day one. You start again. It's really hard to make it 30 days. Women like being approached by men if it's done well. Not only do they like it, they fantasize about it. They dream about it. And most women, when you approach them well, will say, in day game at least, they'll say, "Oh, thank you. Like, I'm so glad you approached me. Like, I'm glad you didn't just stare at me and follow me like a weirdo and say weird shit to me, but you have a little bit of skill, a little bit of style." Um, I'll get right to you, Michael. I'm almost done. Women want us to learn and do better. Yeah, if you guys have questions, just stick your hand up, and when we get to the Q&A, they want us to do better. They're rooting for us. They want us to try, even if we're nervous, even if we're scared, to come and talk to them, to tell them whatever it is we need to tell them. It's not creepy. And if they get creeped out by you just trying to flirt with them, that's their problem. It's not yours. And it's like when I'm trying to sell my coaching to a customer that can't, he's like, "Oh, I don't know, like that's a lot of money." I don't feel bad for them. It's not my problem to feel bad for them. It's my problem. It's my job to help them get better with women and to overcome their obstacles, not to worry about their financial situation, just like you shouldn't worry about her fear of you talking to her. Her thoughts and feelings are not your responsibility, and you have to risk being creepy. Sometimes the girls get weirded out by it, and you just got to laugh it off and know that you are not a bad person. You're not doing anything wrong. Even if you want to sleep with a whole 100 women and have casual relationships, that's not immoral. It's not wrong. This is part of the human experience. The Buddha did it. Siddhartha was a rich, famous child god, and he said, "I'm tired of being rich, famous child god. I'm going to go be a beggar." And he went and became a beggar. And then he's like, I want to become rich. And he went and he became rich. He said, I want to learn sex. And he went to a brothel and he learned everything about sex. Right. And then he came back and became enlightened. So it's okay to go through this path and want to have sex with a lot of women, as long as you have a love for them and you're not doing it from a hateful or spiteful position, that you won't be creepy. Just be honest, have love in your heart, take action like a man. That's what men do. We go and we solve problems. And this community and I give you permission to do that. And it's okay to creep girls out once in a while. It's not your fault. It's not your problem. And what do we do next? Anyone who's interested can grab a free strategy session with me because you stayed for the whole call. That's amazing. Just put your email in the chat and I'll send you an email. We'll hop on the phone for 20 minutes or half an hour and talk it out. And I'll give you a strategy session. Join the school community. Yeah, I'll post a link. Actually, how can I get you guys it's easy. Just go to my school community. I post the link everywhere. If you want to know what it is, just ask me. I have a paid one. It's $49 a month. I do 2 of these live streams a week, guys. People pay me $300 an hour to talk on the phone with them, and you can get 8 hours with me for $50 a month. Plus, you get all the replays. There's like 20 hours of replays of all this content. And post your email in the chat if you want to have a free strategy session. So now I'm just going to look at the chat here. Justin says he has an audio of an approach where the girl thanked me. Yeah, that's awesome. That happens a lot. So you have a question, Michael. Now we're going to do Q&A, guys. I hope that you like the presentation so far.
Yeah, I was just going to add to what you talked about being positive, and that also means, and I have to work on this sometimes, about being critical, because when you're being critical, you're basically stating to the universe the things that you don't like.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Yeah, and if you're like, I don't want to be broke, or if you say I want to be rich, you're telling the universe that you're broke. And it's going to say it doesn't know what you want or what you don't want. It only knows what you fantasize about. And so, and even if you don't believe in that, it just doesn't help to think that way, does it? Like there's no benefit to it. It doesn't get you going. One thing I've been working a lot on, a concept, is the concept of polarity, and not polarity with women, but polarity with yourself and your own thoughts. So if you're say you're lazy and you're sitting there and you're like, why am I so lazy today? Like, what's the polar opposite of lazy? It's energy. And just thinking the word will make you feel that. So if you see a woman, you want to approach her and you're feeling a bit of adrenaline, a bit of nervous, you think, what's the opposite of nervous? The polar opposite is calm. What's the opposite of fear? It's bravery. And just thinking that puts you into that space where you're going to move and take those opportunities, because the universe is giving you these opportunities because you focused your thoughts on them. There's the woman, there's the potential client, there's that raise at work, whatever it is. And if you're not like looking for that, you're going to miss out on those opportunities. So I totally agree with you. Yeah, anybody else want to talk today? Daniel, I see Daniel's in the room. Kumar, have you guys ever creeped out a girl, and how did it go? I know Justin, you've done a lot of approaching. Have you ever just like weirded out a girl? I can tell you some stories.
Yeah, there's been a few times. There's one where like I ran up and I tried to like get beside her to stop her, and I'm like, hey, I was going direct. I was going to be like, hey, I just thought, and before I could even finish my sentence, she just took off running. I'm like, well.
Yeah, that happens again. I'm going to turn off the recording, guys, because somebody wants to chat. For all of you watching the replay, if you say strategy in the chat, I will give you that strategy session. It's going to be great. You're going to love what I have for you. Okay, let's end this recording.